Sorry, my mic was muted. Hello. Let me know if you can hear me. It's been a while, so I'm trying to get things back together. I don't know who just came in, but let me know if you can hear me all right so I can go ahead and make my adjustments. I see. Oh, hey, Mara. Oh, I'm happy to be back. At least, even if it's just for the day. Sorry. Even if it's just for a little bit. But I had a little time and it's been a lot of stuff going on, girl. A lot of stuff has been happening. And I was like, you know what? I only did one baby mama news before. And I was like, it's about time. We got a few stories. We got a few things we can chit and chat and chew on. But yeah, hey everybody who's coming in, how are you? This is just like the pre-show. I'm just giving people time to get in. I'm just kind of not really talking about anything in particular, just greeting everybody, getting reacclimated. How are you? Welcome. I'm sorry. What you need? Okay. I'm sorry. I was tending to my baby. But yes, I was just, living life on social media and everything like that. And it just kept being thing after thing after thing after thing. And I was like, I'm going to have to talk about this stuff at some point. I just didn't know when. And you know what? I happened to have some free time today. And I was like, let me just go ahead, hurry up, make this thumbnail. And I want to prepare you guys. I am so unserious. Like that, because usually I just use my regular thumbnail, but I was like, no, this is baby mama news because I think I want to make baby mama news a thing. And I made a whole little news, thumbnail, and I got a special intro. I hope it works right because my intros be messing up sometimes. But I just want y'all to know I'll be very unserious today. But I am cracking up in myself. I really just sat there and whipped up. It was literally like 4 something. I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this stuff. I got a few hours. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this stuff to just say I did it. So I don't keep feeling like it's over my head or anything like that. And I was like, let me make the thumbnail and let me do this little intro. Let me see if I can do it. So yeah, it's just a little fun thing. I miss you guys. I've been going through some stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I've been going through some things and it just got to the point where it was just really difficult for me to try to continue to do what I wanted to do, like at the level that I wanted to do it. Like even today, just because it's the last minute, I didn't, do all the makeup and stuff, and I didn't feel like getting on camera and things. But it's just so many. I have, I think I mentioned before, I have like a perfectionist spirit. Hi, Danileighs. So that gets in the way of me doing things sometimes, and I just say it's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that's been going on. But thank you for coming and being with me. I'm really excited. I know we're gonna have a lot of fun tonight. Like I said, I'm just giving people some time to get in. So while we're here, Summer has twins. She had twins with the last guy. Girl, listen. And I think the last time I talked about Summer on here, she was pregnant with the second kid. Was she pregnant with the second kids? I think she was pregnant with the set of twins or whatever. And we were just talking about her, but we won't talk about her tonight because hey, you 7 her 3. Hey, the other MJ. Welcome everybody. I'm so happy to see y'all. Oh, we're gonna have so much fun. So what's been going on so earlier this week or last week, I listened to Pound Town. I don't know. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what Pound Town is. I finally broke down and listened to Pound Town because I kept hearing it like on TikTok and stuff. But I was just like, I'm older now, so I was just like, I ain't no stuff. And I finally was like, let me see what this is about. And I listened to it, and I'll be damned if I don't like it. I like Pound Town. Okay, hey you, that makes sense. See. She said obedient skip. I listened to it in its entirety. And the thing that I liked about it was I was like, you know what? I remember this. I remember these days. I remember going to Pound Town. I remember like being excited, like, oh yeah, I'm hanging out with my friends or whatever, but now I'm ready to go and hang out with a dude, you know, like I get it. I see the vision. And it's just a little fun song. I ain't say it was a good song. I ain't say it was lyrically, you know, sophisticated or anything like that. But it's definitely, I found it to be fun. Is that song, and then what's the other song I like? Oh, Acting Bad. That's what I named the live after, right? Acting Bad. Is, you know, just little cute songs and cut up and go out with your girlfriends or whatever like that. I like the spirit. I'm with it. I'm with it. She said F and F was my last mind jam. Right? I mean, listen, every now and then you're going to find something you like. I can think of sometimes like my grandma will hear certain songs and you wouldn't think she liked them, but she like a lot of time though is the beat. She was telling, she liked to keep the radio on all the time. And she was saying, you know what? I just recently started listening to the words of these songs. And she's, I didn't realize I was just listening to the music, what they were saying. And that happened to me because I was taking my daughter to school and I was listening to Pandora. And I had like an early 2000s mix on. Hi, Tori. Oh, thank you. I had like an early 2000s mix on. And I was listening to, what's that song? I really want to be with you, but I gotta be real with you. I can't leave you alone. That used to be my song so much. Like as soon as I heard that, I was like, yes, my song is on. And I'm sitting there listening, and I was like, oh, this is trash. This is horrible. Oh my God, I hate this. I must have never been, I won't say I've never been listening, but it's so funny how like when you grow up and then you be more conscious about, you know, what you're ingesting. And I just was like, this is a horrible song. Like, this really isn't. But all the songs was like all the songs that I used to really just love so much back in the day, I really just liked the beats. And, you know, I tolerated the stuff. Oh, thank you. That's my down to business look. I'm like, yeah, I'm hard hitting facts. Right? Because we're doing news. But anyway, all right, it's enough people in there. Hi, News Juju. Summer, hi, boo. So, yes, I heard it. I did hear it. But it didn't matter when I was, you know what I mean? And it's like now that I'm being older and I'm like, yeah, I got to be more conscious about what I'm ingesting, what is normalizing, you know, what I'm normalizing in my life and stuff like that. It's just like, no wonder everybody's so messed up. Like we just singing these horrible, horrible things like the lullaby. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and play the intro. Y'all going to like it. It's so funny. Oh my God. All right. I told you I was playing too much. I just I put it all together. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do news, y'all. Right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with like the least important one subject, at least what I think is the least important subject, and then I'm gonna work my way up to the one I probably talk the most about. She said, what's the one from Donnell Jones? That's just one song from Dino, but it also is true story. Hell, the good songs were sung by volatile people. I like nostalgia, LOL. I like nostalgia. No, I mean, listen, the songs are good and some songs are really good, but we was having a conversation, me and my aunt, we're having a conversation yesterday about like R. Kelly and stuff. Now, mind you, she was more attached to R. Kelly songs. There are R. Kelly songs that I liked or whatever, like in his heyday. Most songs that came on, I wouldn't mind vibing to. But R. Kelly's never been somebody that was like, I want to listen to some R. Kelly today. You know what I mean? But there is like this aspect of as you find out more about people that, oh, you know, it may be problematic. But I was saying like the thing about R. Kelly stuff was just like most of his subject matter, I don't see how people can listen to it and not equate it to, what he got in trouble for. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, if you talk about Michael Jackson, whether you believe he did it or not, most of his music, you can just listen to his music. You know what I mean? Like, it's not connected to the types of stuff that he was accused of. So, yeah, where I want to be. But where I want to be isn't too bad. I mean, is it BS? Would I accept it? No. But I could listen to that song. But I'm saying, like, Can't Leave You Alone is egregious. But like, it's just completely like, oh, you know what? I really like you because I can cheat with you and you don't give me trouble about it. And my girlfriend is so problematic because I'm cheating on her and she has an attitude about it. Like, it just was so ridiculous. It wasn't even just like, oh, it's a hard situation. It is excessive. It's excessive. But anyway, don't want to get off track. She said they knew darn well about him. They sure did. So first we're going to start out with Danileighs. I don't even think I need any kind of visual for that. If anybody heard, Danileighs had gotten in trouble, was it like 2 weeks ago at this point? She did or tried to do a hit and run. That's not funny, but she tried to do a hit and run. She hit someone. She was very, very, very drunk, way past the limit of what a person should be able to drink. And she got arrested, got a mugshot. Mugshot was looking good, can't lie about that. But now she is in trouble. And I just thought, hey, Themis, how are you? I hope you can stay around long enough to when I do open up the panel, because you be in and out. But I appreciate you coming. I'm happy to be here. You missed my intro. You always miss my intro when I have special things. Yeah, Danileighs hit someone. I think she broke his back. It's just like serious. It's not even like just a little fender bender. It's really, really serious. The MJ says, hey, Themis. And a lot of people were like saying, oh, well, Yellowbone done messed up and everything like that. I personally felt like she messed up a really good opportunity for her. Like, she was just kind of getting back into the swing of things. It looked like she was trying to get back into performing and being public again. And she had a really good angle, because I know she did, what was that, last year around this time? She did that interview with Angie Martinez. And now I won't say people was like feeling bad for her or anything in particular, more so because Yellowbone, like, she's never going to live down Yellowbone. But I just feel like she was primed to be able to make a cute little comeback. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't going... I really never saw it that much for her anyway, but I'm saying, like, she had that opportunity the same way Summer Walker had when she put out her last album, Still Over It, like, to be able to just take that and like catapult her. So Sierra had did the Level Up song, that was a little kind of an injection boost for her career at that time. And Summer Walker did her album. Like, she just I felt like she had a really good opportunity to be able to transmute what had happened to her and having to talk about it and everything like that into building her fan base, kind of like fortifying her fan base, because it's called, was it Easy? I think it was called Easy, Mara. Like I said, fortifying her fan base, because when baby mamas go through stuff and you put out some music that they can vibe to while they're mulling over whatever they're going through, I mean, it will do you. It will carry you. Baby mamas are very, very, they'll go hard in the paint for you. Because I remember when I got pregnant with my oldest daughter, that was when Fantasia had just won American Idol. And then she came out with her first album. And like, when I tell you, the streets was going wild for it. It was a good album though. Like, in and of itself, it's not like they'll let you get away with BS. It has to be good music. But I'm saying, like, if you really can like capture the feelings of being in those situations, people will rock with you. Baby moms will rock with you. And to this day, like, people will cite Fantasia or whatever. So I'm just saying, like, she had an opportunity to really do some career defining stuff. And she just literally and figuratively crashed out. So hate to see it. I hope that baby is okay. You know, I hope she's doing well. Her father can't seem to get it together. You know, ain't nobody checking for him. He keep trying to do little stuff, but it is what it is. But, you know, thoughts. I'm saying the same word, two words at one time. Thoughts, sorrows, and prayers for her. So next, I do want to move on to Summer Walker. I think I want to talk about Summer Walker. Yeah, Summer Walker's fine. I think at some point I do want to sit and watch the Carisha Please episode with her, because that's really all I'm going to talk about for tonight. Is just that short clip of her talking about when people were trying to tell her about her baby father. But I do, like, as I was trying to watch it to find where that was, I realized that I probably need to watch that, because it looks like there's a lot of good, juicy stuff in there. So want to make sure I get that going. I'm trying to pull it up now. So please don't mind me. Talk amongst yourselves in the chat. What she say? The mugshot do look good. It really does. Like, and that's funny. Like, when something happens with somebody you don't like, and people will say, "Oh, she looks so pretty. She looks so good," and then people get mad because people are like, "Oh, they look good" or whatever. Because it's like, "Oh, we're not supposed to like them." But my eyes still see what they see. Like, I can admit that somebody looks nice and still not really deal with them enough. But like, you don't gotta lie. That's one thing we don't have to do. It's $29.50. 24. I saw this on Twitter, and I just was like, come on now, girl. And I know I talked about it before, and as I say all the time, and I do want to reiterate now, like, nothing I'm saying is meant to be mean-spirited. Like, we can kiki a little bit, but ultimately it's all about reaching understanding and having empathy for people and stuff like that. And with that being said, though, when I saw she had said this, it was interesting to me, because I'm just like, you know, I'm going to let y'all watch it first before I say what I think about it, right? Because I want to be able to let y'all have your own opinion about it. Share my screen. Okay. And let me mute myself, because I always be having all types of weird problems.
Baby moms and all that. So how do you feel about people saying, "Summer, we warned you," like, being that, you know, when you was with London and you used to defend him about, you know, him getting his kids, and then the one baby mama saying, "You don't ever have your kids," and you like, "Bitch, we got the kids," and then you turn around and it was like you was going through the same shit.
That shit get on my fucking nerves when people be like, "We warned you." Like, please stop. There is all y'all sitting there talking about, "We warned you." You done been with ain't shit ass niggas. Your mama done been with ain't shit ass niggas. Your grandma and your grandma done been with ain't shit ass niggas. You cannot avoid ain't shit ass niggas. Mm-hmm. So why y'all sitting over there looking at me like y'all ain't never been with or met a ain't shit ass nigga? Your baby daddy ain't shit ass. Your daddy is an ain't shit ass nigga.
Mm-hmm.
You.
All right, so so she said that, and like, initially I was just like, come on now, girl. Like, it felt like a deflection, and it was, like, I'm not gonna lie, it felt like a deflection. But I sat with it for a while and I thought about it, and she's gonna say something else a little bit after this. I'm going to play it some more. I also had to stop it because I don't know if this is like copyright stuff, so I don't want them to hate on me like they did before. But I just was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is giving, right? Because we saw her go through all of that stuff, and like I get that she's saying like, oh, don't act like you haven't been through it, but that's why people are saying it. You know what I mean? Like, because they see certain things, they see certain patterns, they see certain aspects of what's going on that looks like what they've been through. And the thing about it is, it's like someone like she was calling people bitter. She was calling people bitter. She was saying that people were jealous. She was saying people that were just being hateful. You know what I mean? Like, there was no aspect of her, even now when she's saying that, which like I said can be very true, there's no aspect of her to say, you know, and maybe because they went through that and they knew how it felt that they didn't want me to go through that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a thing. And that's what makes it so insidious, this whole culture of people kind of like talking about people and hierarchies of like what type of woman is what and who is what, because then you have people who operate like her that think that people were only saying that because they were trying to like come at her. You know what I mean? Not looking at it like, oh, these are women that are trying to be a sister to me or auntie to me. Oh, thank you, welcome. These are people that are trying to help me, as opposed to think, oh, they're just trying to talk down to me like they never been through it. No, girl. The same way, like you made your music and everything because it's something you went through. People trying to tell you like, don't. Hove did that, so hopefully you don't have to go through that. You know what I mean? So I just found that to be interesting. But I'm going to play a little bit more too because it gives it some more context with what I'm going to say after she says what she says.
You think because what? Because I'm a celebrity that I can't deal with ain't shit ass niggas too? They everywhere. What do you mean?
I think it was more from people's perspective. It was kind of like, you know, the crazy baby. It's always a crazy baby mama. It just was like, it was like an attack thing. So it was more of like, she was saying that nigga don't take care of his kid or that nigga don't spend time with his kid. And then it's kind of like you was defending the situation at the time.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
All of them. And then it's kind of like you turn around and you kind of like went and said the same thing.
Because, okay, and I could sound stupid or like a pick me or whatever, but I just feel like when you're in a relationship, no matter what happened before you, or your man say he gonna do what he gonna do, that's why I really take people's words so serious. Like, I don't care what happened before. You said what you was gonna do for me, and I believe you. I'm not gonna try to trip you up on your past. Maybe you're a changed man. Maybe you learn things differently. We together now. That don't have nothing to do with me. And as for her, like, she's just nuts. She's really nuts. I guess she still want to be with that man because.
All right, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But I thought that was super interesting. And then she goes on to kind of talk a little bit more about like why she feels like the chick is nuts and, you know, her experience of trying to be the one to like unite him and his children and kind of having that disconnect between, oh, well, I'm trying to get him to be a good father. Like, why are you, baby mom, upset at me for trying to be a good father and not equating that to, oh, maybe something's going on between them, you know, maybe he's selling her a dream type of thing. Now, overall, I feel like she's definitely not being self-aware. Well, I can't, that's unfair. She's being self-aware in one particular way. There is a part of what she said that I agree with, and I will get to that. But I want to say, like, the way she talks about the baby mom, basically like, oh, well, she's just crazy. And I feel like her doing that is negating the validity of what it is she says that I agree with. Because she tries to make it a thing of like, oh, well, the girl is just unreasonable and the girl is just crazy and this and that and the other. To me, it feels like she's still doing that thing of like separate. She doesn't look at it like, okay, this is a man with a pattern. I feel like she still kind of singles herself out as unique in the situation. You know what I mean? But I will say, when it comes to her saying, like, if I'm choosing to deal with you, then I'm not necessarily going to put my energy towards trying to catch you in a lie or assume certain things, or, you know, what's the point? If I'm trying to be in a relationship with you, then I must trust you. And so I'm going to trust you. And in that sense, I do agree with her. That's not what I would do in that situation. But when it comes, like, it's, to me, it's the same thing as when people are talking about, oh, why do single mothers, or why do women have babies with guys, or why do women keep dealing with the guy, or what, you know. And it's one of those things where it's like, look, if you are going to choose to be with someone, then you may as well trust them. And the problem I think a lot of people have is that they don't accept and come to terms with the fact that they don't trust the person that they're with, and they're not going to trust the person that they're with. You know what I mean? Like, that is where people trip up, because they are in this, like, in between place to straddling the fence. And so they're never really comfortable, and they're always picking with the person, and the person's always doing whatever, whether it's because they're genuinely cheating or because they're just annoyed because the person is picking with them because they don't trust them. And they never get to be in that place of healthy, functioning relationship, because they're just not comfortable. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm not comfortable for whatever reason, whether it's because of me and I need to do some healing or whatever like that, or because that person actually violated my trust and they just don't let go of the relationship like they need to. So in that sense, I feel her when she's saying, like, look, if I'm in the relationship, I'm in the relationship. And I can say that it speaks to it speaks to her character and consistency, that when she gets out of the relationships pretty fast, you know, like, she gets out of them just as fast as she gets into them. So that rings consistent for me as far as her behavior. But yeah, I wasn't necessarily feeling the way she still was, like, making it like, oh, it was crazy of people to be saying to her, hey, you know, you might want to pump your brakes. You might want to not be going so hard for this man. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what he's telling her, or how he's treating her, or what even went on with them. So you might want to watch out. But yeah, that was what I had from Miss Summer Walker. At some point, like I said, I saw a few things that I might want to talk about. So we may do a review of this. I don't know when. I'm not making any promises. But so next up, I want to talk about Miss Jessica White. And I don't know if some of you know who Jessica White is. Jessica White is she was a supermodel. She might still model now. I don't know, but you know they be aging models out. Like, the only one that doing stuff because she's just forever is Miss Naomi, right? But Jessica White was a supermodel. She was like a video vixen or whatever, video girl in the early 2000s. And she also was a girlfriend of Nick Cannon at a certain point. And I remember, so I saw that they were dating before, it was after he had the baby with the first baby mom after Moriah, which would be Brittany Bell. But it was before, not too long before, the announcement of the pregnancy with, what's that girl name? The one with the short hair, the one we did the review on. For whatever reason, her name is escaping me right now. I was so, like, I don't want to say this. I was surprised. Because, well, I'm going to use this picture. This picture is cute. I was so surprised because, I don't want to say because she was so good looking or whatever, but it just was like, in my mind, knowing her, where she came from, where I knew her from, she just seemed so far removed from him. And I hope that makes sense. It never occurred to me, hey, Kenny, nice to see you. It never occurred to me that they were kicking it. And I guess I should have assumed, because he seems like he goes after models and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So can I get rid of this? I'm gonna get rid of this. Sorry, guys. Trying to get it together. I just never thought they were going to meet with each other, and let alone be like going out together. So this is Jessica White. I don't know if you can see her. This might not be a good picture of her. I'm on Twitter, y'all. I've upgraded to using Twitter for stuff other than like Instagram and stuff. This is her. This might be a better, you might recognize her better or whatever. She's going to be on the newest season of Love and Hip Hop, and which, by the way, sidebar, I have not watched Love and Hip Hop in forever. And I lost interest in it a long time ago. And when I saw the trailer for it, mind you, I think, what is it? Is it MTV or VH? Not VH1. They were on VH1 before. So I think it's MTV is taking it over now. Either way, it looks better than it has looked in a long time, that trailer. And I was just like, she said they put everybody on Atlanta, right? Just said I stopped being shocked with stuff when Lauren London had the child with Lil Wayne. And listen, that was like when I found out all those people, it was her, it was Nivea, it was Christina Milian. Doesn't Christina Milian have a baby with him? Or I don't know. Or was Christina? They all, between them, they was all like swapping the same people. So I don't remember Christina Milian. No, she was just dating him. She didn't have a baby with him. But Christina Milian was married to the Dream. And I feel like somebody else, one of them, was messing with the Dream. It was a mess. It was a lot going on. Yeah, I know she was married to the Dream. But she was dating Lil Wayne for like a hot second. And you know what it is? I think that Nivea was married to the Dream at a certain point too, because she was married to a couple of people. Like she was married to a couple people. She said, I think he's corny, but Nick Cannon must be really charismatic because I don't know how he gets this woman. I have a theory that Nick Cannon he gets them because he uses that, and I'm using air quotes, vulnerability, and like this idea of honesty and oh, I'm being so transparent. And not only am I being so transparent, but I'm being so emotional. Because when we watch, if you go back and watch when we were watching the interview with his short hair baby, I don't know why I can't think of her name tonight. I keep wanting to say Amber, and that's not her name. But when we were watching, and she was saying like she was messing with him and they were just messing around, and she was fine with them just messing around. And then he was like, oh no, don't say we're just messing around. Don't say it's just physical. This is so much more than that. How can you say, like, he kind of guilted her into feeling like she shouldn't just relegate him to a situationship or friends with benefits. And then he then she got pregnant by accident because she was told she couldn't have kids, so she wasn't, she got lax on the birth control. She got pregnant, she lost the baby because she wasn't even expecting. Abby, that's her name. I knew it was something with the A. Thank you so much. She got pregnant, she had a miscarriage, and then he came in and was like, oh no, well, let's try and have another baby. Like, it was him. You know what I mean? But even when she was talking, she was saying it like he was the one, when she was trying to be quote unquote realistic about what was going on and whether or not they could really be something. He was the one making it seem like they had this connection that was more than just sex or a fly-by-night situationship type thing. And I feel like they are preferences. They're models, you know, they're sought after by the fabled high value man, you know what I mean? And I'm saying that in the sense of what the guys say are high value men. So basically men with options, men that have a lot of money, men that are youngish or whatever, good enough looking, you know, not necessarily sugar daddy type material, maybe tricks, but not necessarily sugar daddy type material. Just men that are young enough to still be dipping and dabbing and attractive enough to probably get regular girls on their own. And plus they got a little money and notoriety, right? So she's been used with it. A lot of them are more, I mean, look at Chris Brown. You know what I mean? Look at like Chris Brown. Look at the 50 Cent. Look at, it's one of those things where he could get in there and they'd just be like, oh, he's different. They feel like he's different. You know what I mean? And he plays in it. He's wearing turbans, for God's sake. You know what I mean? So he's just really playing up this angle of being more spiritual and more emotional and everything like that. And I can tell you, like, I went through that with my second daughter's father. Like, he was someone who was very much so into esoteric stuff and spirituality and things like that. And he had this way of, like, I was in it thinking, oh, we were friends from so many years ago. And we had connected way back then before there was any kind of sexuality involved in it. And now we're coming together to be a couple, and when we're talking about these things and we have these deep connections, and he's calling me angel, and he's talking about, oh, we must have known each other for lifetimes and this and that and the other. And then once I'm in the thick of it, you know, once I'm not married, once I'm pregnant, then all of a sudden there's these other women I know he don't know. I know he's never met before, but when I'm asking him about it, it's the same thing. Oh, yes, we must have met each other in another lifetime. So I realized, like, oh, this is what you do. This isn't your personality. This is your pattern. This is how you get women. This is, you know what I mean? Like, this is a system. This is systemic as opposed to a personality thing. And I feel like that's his shtick. That's what he does. But she said men don't know that they want what they want the definition of a high value man to be. It's like every man want to be able to call themselves that, so they keep updating the definition like sirs. I think ultimately, when I think of what men are talking about when they're talking about a high value man, they mean a man that's valuable based off of society standards. And that can change, it can shift slightly, but generally it's like a man that has social capital, a man that is seen as a leader, a man that is seen as a mover and a shaker, someone that is not easily dismissible. You know what I mean? Because even when I see Jamil, his channel's called Beneficial Black Man, right? And he's talking about it in terms of being beneficial to your community as well as your personal circle, you know, your family, your wife if you have one, or your girlfriend, your kids if you have them, you know. But generally when you're talking about like podcast bros, they're talking about being able to go out and people just know you're a big man, and they're going to bow down to, men and women are going to bow down to you. They're not going to easily challenge you. They're not going to try to take anything from you without fearing some kind of hard and swift reprisal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a bunch of BS. She said, but they even removed the finances part because they don't have finances. Well, I genuinely believe that, because when they talk about Pookie and Ray Ray, in my mind, when they talk about Pookie and Ray Ray, they're not necessarily talking about like a drug dealer that's high level. They're talking about just random street dudes that don't even, you know, take care of themselves too much. All they have is that social capital of knowing that they beat people up, or they're murderous, or just extremely violent. You know what I mean? They have that social capital of being someone that people don't want to mess with, like I said, unless they know that some kind of reprisal is going to come their way and they're prepared for it. She said Nick Cannon is in his character from Love Don't Cost a Thing, but in real life, you know, I don't even feel like I've seen that movie, but I don't feel like it ever drew me in. I just vaguely remember stuff about them. I remember like the last part of that movie when they were on the beach. I don't remember anything else. She said Pookie and Ray Ray were the male relatives that Obama told us to get to the polls to vote. Even he knew. Listen, everybody knows. And it's so crazy. If you saw that clip of Dr. Umar, like it was so funny the way when he was saying all he was saying, and the guy kept trying to like talk or over talk him or whatever, and then finally he just sat there and he just had the craziest look on his face. He looked so dejected, like, oh, I want to say something, but there's really nothing I could say to that. But yes, so anyway, back to the matter at hand. Jessica White and Nick Cannon were dating. Like I said, he had the baby with his first baby mama after divorcing Mariah, Brittany Bell. He had that one baby, and I saw that he was dating her, and like she was very, very happy. She was posting him. She was posting him though. He wasn't posting her. She was posting him, and they were. It was like right at like she had posted him, and she did a message. I don't remember exactly what it was. I don't want to feel like going to look for it. She said, oh, I think I remember. Yeah, she did a message and she was just like, oh, you know, we've been together for so long and I just want to tell everybody that I love you so much and you're just the best guy. You changed. Like she was just really pouring out her love for him, but it gave off this. That's what it was that shocked me about it, because it wasn't even like you saw them out and you're like, oh, they're dating or whatever. This was how you basically found out they were dating, because she did a last ditch, like, I'm just putting it out there. We go together and I love him so much and we're just so in love, but it just felt so desperate. And I was shocked because, you know, look at her. She was one of the ones, you know what I mean? When I was growing up, she was one of the girls. And I just was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I was scared for her. And I was just like, something feels off about that. And like I said, not too long after that, Abby, the picture of him with Abby De La Rosa came out. I was like, oh man, you know, like that's crazy. And then they were just coming back to back. And then the whole, she was out of the loop when it was the Valentine's Day thing. Because for those who don't know or don't remember, Abby had done her reveal. We knew Abby was pregnant. We knew Brittany was pregnant or had just had their second baby. No, I think Abby got pregnant and then Brittany got pregnant again after that. So anyway, Nick sends everybody the same Valentine's Day stuff, because you saw the one that just had did she have his last baby? The one that had the dark skinned baby. What's the baby name? Onyx? Some kind of bullshit like that. The one that had the dark skinned baby. She was dating him too. And she was posting. She wasn't doing like Jessica did, but she was kind of posting like, oh, we're in love. But you could tell it. She felt like their bond was the bond. And so then she got her feelings hurt because he sent her Valentine stuff and they had their whole little pictures with the balloons and everything. But then you saw that he had pictures with like Abby and other people with the same package. Basically, it was a bunch of room full of balloons and like maybe a flower here and there. Like it was, he sent everybody the same exact thing. And when I was watching the interview with Abby, you saw that she was saying like that had took her by surprise too. Everybody was surprised. Everybody thought that what he did for them was just for them, and it wasn't. And that's why I say like Nick Cannon reminds me of my second daughter's father, because I noticed that he was using the same exact songs he was sharing with people. He was calling people the same exact pet names. He was citing the same exact kind of lore, like, oh, yes, I feel like we've known each other in another lifetime and we're twin flames and soulmates. It was always the same stuff over. There was nothing unique about how he was engaging with any different woman. And so it's a shame, because you wouldn't think that these particular women would be so susceptible to that. And that just goes to show you, like, it's not about what you look like. It's not about where you come from. It's not about who's checking for you. It really is a part of the woman's experience to just want a certain kind of love in such a way that you become susceptible to this type of stuff. And like I'm saying, like it doesn't matter if the guy has a bunch of money. This is happening to women in the hood every single day. Every single day it's happening to women with so much less access to resources and men that have no resources at all. She said he could at least corral all his moms to live in the same state if they don't. Or maybe I'm thinking at Ackkin. Well, the thing is, and he said it like he never outright said it, but basically he said it in different ways when people ask him. These women, and that's why it makes me so mad. Like when Abby was talking about how, oh, well, I knew what it was or whatever. These women, he's not just saying to these women, look, it is what it is. He's saying other things to these women. Like he gives these women hope because for them to be feeling a type of way, which he has implied, heavily implied, that they feel a type of way that they don't want to interact with each other because they basically want to act like the other women don't exist. You know what I mean? I think in their minds, they feel like, oh, him and whoever at the time, them are the main couple and have the deepest bond, and the other women are just him, you know, sowing his wild oats or whatever. They don't feel like the connection is real with the other women as it is with them. And it's like, that's crazy and dangerous, and it's going to be a shit show when the kids get older. She said, you think part of the appeal for the women is a competition between the other baby mamas, like the desire to feel superior to other women? Yes, absolutely. The thing, like I just said with Summer Walker, even in the midst of her, you know, recognizing that, okay, she got played too, she's still trying to differentiate herself. And when I say differentiate herself, like, I'm not trying to say that I feel like people should feel like, oh yeah, they're stupid and I'm stupid and we're all stupid together. You know what I mean? But there is something about trying to compartmentalize yourself away from people in these situations when you're dealing with men that have multiple women in these types of situations, leave them with kids, stuff like that. You set yourself up to get played, because that part of your ego, that's all they have to do is feed that part of your ego. So all they have to do is play into that part of you that wants to believe that you are set apart from these other women, even though they're all still in the same room, in the same bed. You know, you still feel like you're set apart. You're more special than these other women. So you're not really, you might be sharing his body, but you're not sharing the connection you guys have. You know what I mean? Like, it's really crazy. It says men will treat you like the trash they are. They will. They really, really will. It's a shame that, because I was having a conversation with a male family member earlier, and talking about like all the ways that men are socialized to view relationships and sex and anything that's even sex adjacent, to where they're barred in to these reactions, these knee-jerk reactions that don't even make any sense, because everything is looked at through a lens of sex and how it serves them sexually. Even if it's something completely unsex related, they will relate it to something sexual. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense for them. And then they wind up in these situations. Like, I know, like, Nick Cannon has been having interviews lately where he's saying like, oh well, yeah, I don't think I should have had so many kids. You know what I mean? Because it's just this knee-jerk thing of feeling like, oh yeah, this is the thing to do because I'm a man and I have money, and it's a way of stating my manhood. It's a way of showing the world what type of man I am and how much value I have and all of that. But then when you actually get into living it and the particulars of it, and how are you going to maneuver, how are you going to do holidays, how are you going to manage when kids actually start talking and communicating what they want and what they need and how they're comfortable or uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, they don't think about that stuff. It's all about feeding the ego. So the man is operating in ego, the women are operating in ego, and the kids are being born in the situations where, you know, the egos being fed and serviced are not their own. It says, let them tell it they can have sex with any woman. Yeah, I think the obsession with sex attaining women in some men is just low self-esteem and self-worth. Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. They say like people are a mirror. So in the same way that these women are chasing validation through these relationships, the men are chasing validation. But like I said, you can never have enough, because the more you feel like you can get, if you're collecting women like Pokemon and children like Pokemon, when do you think is going to hit you and say, oh, that's enough? You know what I mean? There's always going to be a younger, more beautiful woman. There's always going to be a woman that's going to speak to you in a way that the other way, especially if you buy into all those misogynistic things of women getting older and stuff like that. As long as women will pay him attention, he's going to play this game. You know what I mean? Like until his body literally shuts down on him, I feel like he's going, because he's never going to get a vasectomy. I would be highly shocked if he would get a vasectomy. Highly shocked. Because even with all his money and everything, they still are so ignorant about what vasectomies are. And truth be told, like he shouldn't even care, because he don't need any more kids. So the next time someone comes out to say men are logical, is getting smacked clear across the mouth, as they should. As they should. But so yes, Jessica White, basically she dodged a bullet. Apparently she had some miscarriages while they were together. But I remember, like, once all this stuff came out about the Valentine's Day and it basically showed that he was messing with all these different women, she went ahead and she did like a blanket statement of basically like, oh, we're not together anymore. Please stop tagging me, because people were tagging her in all these different posts with him cradling baby bumps and, you know, hugging up under the balloons and everything like that. And she was just like, please stop tagging me. You know, I wish him well. We shared a lot of love or whatever, but I'm just not about that life. I'm one of one, basically. You know what I mean? And I remember feeling like, oh, that's great. Like, good for her. Good for her. You know what I mean? And then the other brown skin girl came like a little bit after that, but she kind of had not exactly the same, but she had kind of did the same thing. That's why I was so sad when I saw she wound up, you know, caving and having his baby. But yeah. So she got away. She's been going for years. Like I haven't heard anything about her being with him, around him, anything for years. So now she's going to be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And apparently that is her storyline. She's talking about how she was so in love with him and this and that and the other. And she actually did was it an Instagram post? I'm gonna check and see. She did an Instagram post, I think, where she was just talking about her experience with him and how she loved him, but she just couldn't, you know, deal with that. And they really shared so much love together, but they were just broken people coming together at the wrong time and blah, 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 blah. Like it was kind of like, it was weird to me, because I'm like, have y'all even talked? Like, I haven't seen anything about them even being in the same room with each other, like I said, since before. It wasn't quite 10 years ago, but it had to be at least 5. I say between 4 and 5 years ago. But that's what I'm like. I haven't seen anything about them being together. Like I said, I thought she had moved completely on and wasn't dealing with him. So to now see her talking about this in this way is just like, oh, girl, what? Please don't. And then it almost sounds like, I won't say it almost sounds like, it sounds like she's like wistful that she didn't have one of these millions of children. And that's really sad. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I really don't need to read it. I know Erica De Niro TV, she read the whole thing. But it went on, like it really was going on and on and on and on and on about this man. And here it go. Oh my God, here it go. I'm about to share it with y'all and I'm gonna read it. Oh, I was sharing it. Y'all can't see it, but I can see it. I'm gonna read it. But see how much, see all that? That's crazy. It says, her name, I am Gypsy White, tried to reach out to you. Okay, so they're not talking. Tried to reach out to you, but here's my book at Nick Cannon. I know you're upset about the show, but after 8 years, I can't stand when things catch you off guard, and I feel like you deserve way more respect as a man, even though I may be more respectful than you ever gave me with public announcements. LOL. I've loved and gave 8 ride or die years to you with my head high and heart praying you'd see me the way I deserved. I wanted it to work. I prayed every day that you'd see me and love me the way that I loved you. Maybe you did, but just kept it from me during the relationship. I walked away with more questions than anything. I don't know till this day why current things had to happen. I wanted the world to know I didn't always feel like NC was proud to have me as a partner, and I'm so happy I can say that now and still know how awesome I am. I'm proud I can say the truth and how I'm healthy emotionally and wouldn't change my insane insecurities that I prayed off my life. I had many hurts and pain way before Nick. I never felt love that was safe even as a kid. So no, Nick, you didn't cause that pain. I had it long before us, but I put it off on you unfairly without seeing that my healing needed to be deeper past us. I mean, you added to it, but my fear of not being loved wasn't broken by you. I'd like to publicly say that. I felt like you always put the other women on a pedestal and was beyond unstable about that. I have to say these things because I'm going to move on from public shame that has been over my life since I was at the top of my game in fashion. I know the truth now about just as much healing I needed, and I know the truth now about just how much healing I needed, and God has taken my hurt. I'm not ashamed by being beautiful and successful and not being loved with care throughout my life because there's big, big love coming to me that will fill up my memories with joy. God will get the glory out of my broken past, not shame nor sadness. The truth is, NC and I were both beautifully broken when we were children and didn't know how to love each other. Instead, we hurt each other. Ooh, okay. That was a lot. She said, not for a Mona Scott check. Honest, if I can be honest, I feel like it probably, yes, for a Mona Scott check, but probably too just wanting to have an outlet, wanting to be able to do it in a public way. Like she really was getting that offer. Yes, it was that long. You were right. It's about 10 years, about a good decade. She said, this is some Danae Jackson type stuff. Right? Like it's saying the words healed, but it don't feel healed. It feels very raw, and it feels very like if he come talking, what you would like to hear, then it'll be back on and popping. She said, emotionally healed equals a Mona Scott check. Listen, I was just like, so it made me sad. You know what I mean? And not just because like, oh, she's so pretty or whatever. Like, I don't want to see anybody going through it. I've seen all types of women go through this same thing. And that just goes to show you that people will be like, oh, well, why would people deal with a guy who has all those kids? Because you feel like, just like Summer said, it's so funny how all this stuff goes together. Just like Summer said, you have women who are like, look, I'm trying to move forward. And there was we did a live not too long ago, and I did it with everybody came on, but LB came on from Thema Santos, his one of his moderators. She came on and she was talking about how her mother never had any more children because she didn't want to have more than one child's father. So she basically gave up on wanting to have any more children. Yet some of her other siblings from her father, their mothers, had other kids. And she was saying like one in particular had a couple different baby fathers because she just wouldn't give up on the idea that she could build a family with the man that she loves. And I was talking to somebody else recently, a man recently, and we were talking about like how a lot of women have children, and when they get to a certain age, they don't want to have any more children. And like, I'm of that, in that category. I'm 30, I'll be 38 this year. I have 2 children. They're 10 years apart. And I'm just like, I really don't see myself wanting to start all over again. Like my youngest daughter is the age now that my oldest daughter was when I got pregnant with her. You know what I mean? And that's crazy to me. Like right now, looking at it, like, that's crazy to me. I really set myself completely back. Hey, True Mystique. I'm so happy to see you. She said it's an invitation for Nick to slide back in there. It sure is. Because like you saw, she started with, oh, well, I tried to contact you, but I couldn't. So like he's not paying her any attention. You know what I mean? Like, so there are a lot of women that don't want to have more kids, and most of the time it's because they're like, look, either they had kids too young, they had to struggle with it, you know what I mean? So they're just like, it's not something I want to do again. Even if I find somebody that I really, really love and I feel like will be there or whatever like that, I still don't want to be trapped with having another baby because I want to live my life. That's where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to live my life. So it's a shame that women, there's so much going on in these situations. Like, people don't understand just how much it impacts your life. If you don't wind up with the father of your child, how it impacts your entire life moving forward. And what your, like I always talk about what your options are, what you think your options are, or whatever like that. Unless you're a woman that just really wants to have 1 million freaking kids, if you only know you got 1 or 2, maybe 3 in you, and you have them all with an ain't shit ass dude, it is what it is. You know what I mean? And I feel bad for her that she doesn't recognize that that's a blessing, because now you have the option to go and find a man that you can have a real family with outside of this stuff. Like, that whole thing I say, I've always felt like, oh, it has to be this particular guy, it has to be this guy gets me, this guy has the, sometimes it's not even that they get you, or you'll say that they get you, but it's like, this guy knows my good and my bad and accepts me as who I am. You know what nobody else is going to love the unlovable parts of me. Like, this guy's been around forever. What she said, 8 ride or die years, right? So now she's like, oh, it has to be him. I'm working on him. And that shit's sad as hell. It really is sad as hell. And like I said, looking the way she looks, having the access she has, having the availability that she has. She don't have no kids, but this is the type time she on, like she said, writing a book to Nick Cannon on Instagram. She said, to freedom, right? Yes, to freedom, girl. Like, what does she say? Girl, stand up. More Slicky Dicky Nikki Chronicle, amongst other things. Yes, we're moving through the docket. This baby mama news, so it's a bunch of different stories. We're about halfway through, a little over halfway through now. But yeah, so she's gonna, if you want to follow that, and I'll be paying attention to that. She's gonna be on Love and Hip Hop and Land. Did it start yet? Oh, thank you, True Mystique. You know, I'm trying. I can't say it's going to be a regular basis, but I definitely found the time, today. I made the time. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm having good times with you. I just want to get through all of this stuff first, and then I'm going to open up the panel for people to talk, by the way. It's not just for me to just talk this whole time. So she said she don't seem Atlanta. Listen, everybody's trying to, and you got to realize, like, she's probably aged out of the fast-paced modeling situation. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying she don't look good. She looks amazing. But, I don't think she's an actress. You know what I mean? So she really got to try to do what she can. Do what she can to get what she wants. So from there, since we're still on the Twitters, I'm going to go to the next thing on the docket, which is Moriah Mills. Does anybody know who Moriah Mills is? Put in 1 in the chat if you know who Moriah Mills is. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but this is just out of control. I won't say I didn't know who she was. I didn't know her by name anyway, but when I saw her face, I was like, ooh, I know her. And I'll just say this much. Let's see here. heck is this? Sorry, y'all. Twitter is weird. Let's see what the latest is. So anyway, Moriah Mills was a porn star at one point. She is, I believe they said she's 32. Oh no, sorry y'all. Sorry y'all. I don't know what that is. Never mind. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm not even gonna worry about it. Hold on. Let me get this off. Let me because I don't even want those problems. Hey Panda. So Moriah Mills was an adult film star. And I probably need to say prime because they be messing with people on here about saying certain words. So I didn't mean to say prime, but I'm going to thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'm going to try to keep saying prime. She's a prime star. And apparently she was having a relationship with a very young, I believe he's 19 at this point now, but they were having a relationship before he was 19. Basketball player named Zion. Is it Zion Williamson? You said you heard her name in the lyric. Honestly, like I said, honestly, she wasn't that good at what she was doing. If I'm being honest, I've watched a few. I've dabbled in that genre, and she's nowhere near the best. Yes, the b-ball player. So he's like 19 years old. His name is Zion Williamson. And he looks like a really big boy for his age. And I keep saying boy, but like I said, I have a 19-year-old. So that's a baby to me. And when I look at him, let me see if I can pull him up. Let me see. Zion Williamson. They said an injury. Did he get injured? He better not have got injured. On top of everything else, he got them babies to feed. So this, y'all, let me share this with y'all. Is Zion, and he looks like a baby to me. Like look at this. Look at him. Can I make this bigger? Oh, that went to Wikipedia. I don't want that. He looks like a kid. He looked goofy. I'll say he looked a little older right here, but he looked goofy. He looked like a dad there, though. He looked like somebody's father. But my point is, there's pictures I've seen of him where he doesn't look like someone that's 30-something years old should be dealing with him. Like, he looks really young in this picture. But anyway, he looks like a big guy, though. But anyway, old girl is messing with him. And he does look immature. And so he got someone else pregnant. They were messing around. She keeps showing screenshots or whatever of conversations they had where basically he's in New Orleans. So he told her to come down to New Orleans and he was going to take care of her. And basically like she was going to be his kept woman or whatever. And then he pops out with a, let me see if I can find the picture. He pops out with a baby mother. And she's in her 30s too. Ridiculous. Freaking ridiculous. She's in her 30s too. So Moriah sees this and loses her damn mind. It's been about a week, maybe going on 2 weeks at this point since this here news broke. And Moriah has been going hard in the paint every single day. He's 22. Okay. Mariah's going hard in the paint, saying all this crazy off the wall stuff. She's talking about, oh yeah, you did this to me sexually, and you said you love my kitty cat, and I very explicit things about what they did, sexually and stuff, like just unnecessary, irrational things. that have nothing to do with anything, and just like she goes from saying, "Oh, I don't need you." She called him fat. She said he can't, perform sexually. She's just been doing. I haven't seen this type of stuff since I was like a teenager. This is really like middle school level craziness, and this woman is in her 30s. And to his credit, he hasn't said anything, but all I keep thinking is like, where's his mom? Where are his aunts? Because I know, and I know some people will be like, oh, you want to protect the thuns and protect your boys that are doing this and that. At this point, it's not even about that. Like, you messing up the fucking bag. He has a child now, and you're doing all this stuff, and they do have morality clause. Like, you're making him bad for the teams. You get what I'm saying? You're making him you're making the block hot. And I, as his mother or his aunt or whatever, or even his other baby mom, to be honest, would be hella pissed if you got him kicked off the team and now he can't, eat the way he was to be able to take care of his kids or whatever. Like, if you was going to do it for real, you should have just shut up, let him come back over, and then just got pregnant, because that's on you. Because according to her, y'all was doing all types of crazy stuff. So clearly his swimmers work. So I don't know what's going on there, but like, she really was just like, oh, you got her pregnant and not me. And this, like, it was just so freaking ridiculous. I want to try to find, I'm not going to do it on camera because it'd be crazy stuff on Twitter. I forgot Twitter is wild. I'm going to try to find it so that in a way that, won't show y'all anything untoward. But I just feel like you need to see. When I saw this one, I was like, oh no, girl. It is not showing everything but her. Okay, you can see this. Can I? Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to go between these things. She says you will lose all your endorsements if the sex tape drop Giant Wood. Like, she's threatening this man. She is threatening him. This is tame compared to some of the other stuff she said. Like, she's talking really, really wild and crazy to this man. And it's just like, what are you trying to do? And at this point, like, he better not talk to her. He better not go over there. He better not do anything, because she's clearly letting you know that, like, what's up? She really just upset that the other chick got pregnant and she didn't get pregnant. And it's just like ridiculous. She said, I was kind of panicky about being single and childless for the rest of my life, but all things considered, my life is, ain't it? Revenge crime is illegal, though. It sure is. Like, everything at this point, I would be surprised if they're not just collecting in case to get a restraining order against her or something like that, because it's egregious. It's definitely egregious. But, I could do it on here. Okay, so this, I'm going to share this, is her. This is their woman. Very unserious body. It's like some pictures of her, she looks really nice. She looks really cute. But other pictures, she's got like cartoonish dimensions. The way she got her stuff set up. Like, it looks better in clothes, to be quite honest. So this is her, and then this is the other baby mom. This is someone different. And mind you, there's a pic of this girl at Boosie's house in a bikini. The baby mom, there's a pic of the baby mom at Boosie's house in a bikini. So they're saying like she slept with Boosie. Like, it's really a whole ecosystem of these type of women. And I remember years and years ago, I don't know how it came across my feed or timeline or whatever, but there was someone, it was on Instagram. There was a woman that was teaching a course. This was when online courses and stuff at first started like popping off like that. Teaching a course about how to trap a baller, NBA player, football player, whatever, a baller with a baby. It was really a course. You could go online and sign up for it. And I think you had to go like there. It was in New York or something. But this really is an ecosystem of women doing this. She said, let me mind my business. I'm just glad the BBL era is dying down. Is it though? I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I don't know. She said, did the baby drop already? I do not think the baby has had. She's had the baby. Brittany, no, it wasn't Brittany Renner. It wasn't. This was before I knew anything about a Brittany. Years before I knew anything about a Brittany Renner. So this is Moriah Mills, and I just was like, it's crazy to me how women are chasing this life. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You like, oh, I can get the money or whatever, blah, 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 blah. That's cool and all. But it's like, these are women that, like I said, have access to opportunities to be like, open a boutique or something, sis. You know what I mean? Like, you real pretty. I don't know. Do a workout. You know what? There's other things you can do. There are other things you can do. And it's just really crazy to me how she was just going this hard for this little boy. He's a little boy to me. Like, I know he's a grown man. I'm not trying to take any responsibility off of, but compared to her, he's a little boy. You know what I mean? Like, this it's nasty, for real. Women still want to get plastic surgeries, and men are going to continue to gaslight us saying we've always preferred natural. Okay. Right? That's exactly what they're going to do. But yeah, Moriah is tripping. This little boy I want to stop saying little boy because I don't want people to think like I'm trying to infantilize him. But like I said, this is as someone, I don't have any sons, but I have a daughter that's 19, and I know that I wouldn't, put certain things on her. But they definitely need to do something like the coaches and the influential older men within the NBA and around the NBA. They really need to have like a big brother program or some kind of accountability program for these men, because like it's really sad that these men are going out like this. You know what I mean? And that's 100% on him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but it's clear. Yeah, start a sex toy line. She probably was trying to mold her. I really feel like listen, you can see he goofy. You can see his face. He look goofy. He's not bad looking. He is grown enough. So I say he look like he probably can't fuck. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? But it's like, she thought that she was going to be able to easily secure a bag. For real, you know what I mean? Secure a bag, mold him probably emotionally and everything like that. Like, the baby mama's black. What's her name? Real Housewives, the white lady. She married the guy Croy. I know her name, but I don't know why her name is escaping me. But you know who I'm talking about. Tardy for the party. She married that young guy, and she had him, and they were saying like he was making her wigs. Like, it was a very cool situation for her. It wasn't Larsa. I'm not talking about. Yeah, Larsa's another one though. Oh, Larsa is creepy. She just remind me of like a lizard person. You know, like they say lizard people. She reminds me of a lizard person. Not necessarily her looks, but not far off, but just like her aura, her personality. She reminds me of a lizard person. Very cold-blooded. Not Kim. Yes, Kim. Yeah, Kim. I'm thinking Kim Kardashian because you said Larsa Pippen. Kim Zolciak. and she married Croy. And Croy, for all intents and purposes, aside from his politics, he seemed like a very good husband. He seemed like a very good partner to her, and attentive and loving and happy to be there and just doing everything. And I feel like she thought she was going to get that out of this guy. And that's messed up. And then you got all this stuff on the internet. I don't know what it's going to take to get her to chill. And then I also feel kind of bad for her, because I'm just like, when you come down from whatever freaking crazy high you're on, you're going to be really embarrassed. Like, you're going to be, where do you go from here? Like, it really is one of those things where you gotta, what's it called? Ride it into the ground, because like, there's nowhere to go from here. So we're going to move on. All right. So now we're to the meat and potatoes of the situation, which is Kimora Lee Simmons and her daughter, Ackkin Lee. Kimora was married to Russell Simmons, back in the day. And they were Jay-Z and Beyonce before Jay-Z and Beyonce. She was a literal child when they were made aware of each other. They did get together technically. No, I don't even think they got together after she was completely of age. But they got married when she was completely of age, I believe. Was she age? I don't remember. I'll be honest. I don't remember. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find the clip I'm looking for. But yeah, so anyway, Kimora has gone on and she didn't get married twice. She was with Jamon Hansu, who, by the way, I saw a commercial today. He's having another baby with somebody else. But him and her were together for a couple years. They had a cute little chocolate boy. He should be about, I want to say, like 15, 16 by now. And Kenzo, that's his name. Kenzo, so cute. They had a son, and then she got married again to a not black man, white man, or European man, or whatever, the man that's in jail. And they had another child, another boy, I think. I think they only had that one other child. Why do I feel like there's a child that's missing in there too? But anyway, in all that time, though, she has had different shows. She has done different business ventures, different businesses in fashion and things like that. And it always appeared that they had a really cool, co-parenting relationship. You never heard her complaining about anything. They would be with each other. You would see they looked very happy and like cool. And there was never a problem. And the little girls grew up to be they were always really pretty. She always had them around. Is this what they're supposed to say? Oh, I'm in the wrong one. That's what I'm saying. I'm missing something. I'm in the wrong account. Sorry. Hold on. Let me switch my account. But they always got along really, really well. It seemed anyway. And then come to find out, Ackkin, who is the second oldest child. So Ming was the first child, and then Ackkin was the second child. And those are the only two that her and Russell had together. Ackkin came out yesterday with I hope y'all still can hear me, because it's saying my page is unresponsive. She said, I thought they were married. You thought who was married? It sounded like she was mad he wasn't supportive during their college years. I wonder if he tried to claim the daughter's success. Well, we'll get to all that. It would just be speculation anyway on my part. But I don't want the dashboard. I just want to watch YouTube, baby. Baby, what are you doing? Sorry, yo. But yeah, Ackkin came out today. I'm trying to get to the video. It's just giving me the runaround. That apparently for years now, he has been harassing her sister, harassing the mother, and he's been harassing her and her sister because he's trying to harass the mother through them. So basically, like she's saying, whenever they talk to him, he wants them to listen to him and join in with him in talking crazy about their mother. And she's just like, I don't want to do that, and we shouldn't have to do that. And I did notice, I'm going to let you watch it when it comes up, but she was saying, like, my mom never tried to put us in the middle of anything that had to do with you guys problems. You know what I mean? Like, she never tried to make you out to be anything to us. She never tried to make herself out to be anything she wasn't. She's always been really, you know, loving and supportive and wanting us to, you know, love you, but still be comfortable. And he's just like, he wants to talk crazy about the mom. He wants them to listen to him talk crazy about the mom. And it's really, really sad because she's just breaking down on top of everything else. She's like, he doesn't support me. He doesn't support me. He's not really doing anything for me. My mom has been doing all this stuff for me. My mom has been making sure I have everything that I need. My mom has been making sure that I'm good in every way, shape, or form. And now he has the nerve to want to pitch a fit because I just don't want to listen to him talk crap and not do anything else. And that's really sad. And the poor thing was crying. It made me feel so sad. What is that honking? Sorry, y'all. I'm by the window. All right, I'm almost there. I'm finding it. When was I watching it? I was not watching it. Oh, this is why. Jesus. Sorry, yo, this thing is not letting me log into my other thing. Let me go ahead and read some comments. Hi, Jazzy. So somebody said something else. Oh, yeah, I wanted to see that. I'm not typically the one to say find a white man, but some rich white dude in Europe might not mind a prawn star. Listen, what's her name? Somebody was talking about Fumi in the Discord the other day. I love Fumi and I love her story. And like when I see her talk about her husband, and she had showed the thing about how they met each other and then got married and everything like that. He just seems like he really, really loves her. And I see a lot of like European men who seem just very kind in a way that, oh, thank you, Jazz. It's good to be here. I missed you guys. You'll see a lot of European men that seem kind in a way that American men don't seem. You know what I mean? And I think it's kind of that difference between like when you say American black men and American white men have a kind of difference, because it seems like American white men might be more secure in certain ways that American black men are. I feel the same is true with like non-American men, period, no matter the race. And American men of any race are different too. Like they've been socialized differently. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that they are dealing with, they're more secure in it. And so they don't have to do as much to try to prove it. She says, Aoki is 20 and a Harvard graduate, and Ming is an NYU grad. They seem well adjusted. All things considered, they did it without their dad supporting. That's what it's looking like. That's really what it's looking like. I want to switch account. Ooh, excuse me. That's what it did last time. I don't want to go to the creator studio. Good God Almighty. Okay. How can I add this? Can I do it on my phone? Maybe. I'm not using my own computer, so I'm not I have to like sign into everything separately, and like on YouTube on here, I'm on my Vitamin Key YouTube, but on Sorry, I got lost in what I was doing. But I need to be on my Level Up Single Mom page. All right. Let's see. Switch account. Anyway, poor baby was crying, and like they all, what I liked about, I used to love Kimora Lee Simmons. Like I used to watch, she had what's it called, The Fabulous Life, or I don't remember what it was, but it was some show where she was, when she had baby fat, and the girls were like, I think Ming might have been 5, and Aoki was younger than her, and like she would go to the office and pick out the patterns for the different baby fat clothes and stuff, and they would do the photo shoots, and it was so cute, and they'd be at the house, and she was doing all that before, you know, the Kardashians and everything. She had that type of a show where they were just following her around, living her fabulous life and her brands. I'm using air quotes and everything like that. And it was just really cute and aspirational, and the little girls were so sweet. Oh yeah, I remember they had she was moving or something, or she had them a bed made, and it was like one of those beds that was shaped like a castle or something, and like one could climb up, and it was like a castle in a little house and a bed, a bunk bed at the same time. I just remember that was just too cute. It was so cute. I loved it. And she said, yeah, that was the reality show. Fabulosity. Yep. Fabulosity was her book title. It was something about fabulous, but she would use that with everything. And it was always pink and sparkly and, and really cute. And like I said, but you never, if anything was going on negative, you never heard anything that, and sometimes Russell would be on the show, like they'd be having phone calls and stuff and doing business stuff and everything. So you never had any kind of indication. She never complained. And she always worked. Now, that husband she just had, they was doing some, you know, shifty things or whatever. You gotta be real about that. But my point is, whatever she was doing, she was making it. And she never complained about Russell. She never said he wasn't doing anything. She never said he was bad. And you also have to think, too, in terms of all the stuff that came out about Russell Simmons, and then he ran away to wherever he's at, Machu Picchu or wherever he's at. And it's funny to me because whenever I'm going to get this video, y'all. But when you think about what he was accused of and how he was accused of acting, right? The way he's acting, it falls in line with that. And I'm not trying to say he touched his daughter. I don't believe he touched his daughters at all. But it's a power thing. It's a control thing. You know what I mean? It's this idea that, oh, I'm in charge of these women. I'm in charge of these women's bodies. I'm in charge of these women's existence. I'm in charge of these women's ability to take care of themselves. You know what I mean? And just the fact that these girls are becoming independent, the fact that these girls are choosing not to interact with him in the way that he wants them to interact, to have him lashing out like this, to have him, you know, doing what he can't do anything to them physically, right? He can't do anything to them sexually, but he can withhold finances. He can withhold love and affection. He can be antagonistic. He can be, you know, loud and mean and nasty. So that is really sad to think. And I said to myself, I wonder how many of those people who I wonder how many of those people who were acting crazy and saying like, oh, he could have never did this, are maybe rethinking that a little bit. You know what I mean? She said, I was thinking it was a lashing out about his involvement in their college years. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I could probably find it this way. And I'm also curious what's his name? Reverend has to say. I mean, I doubt he'll say anything, but I'm just curious, like, what he thinks about all of this. So I did find a video of Kimora talking. Oh God. Okay, Mora calls him out and throws shade. So this was Ming. Ming is the oldest daughter. Ming says Happy Father's Day to Kimora Lee Simmons, right? And I'm guessing that's what set him off. Uncle Rush says, "Stop, oh, see, asking ye shall receive." So this is Reverend Rush. I was just saying, I wondered what he had to say. He says, "Stop telling fathers they should have fought harder." I clicked on it, so it's going to come up. Stop telling fathers they should have fought harder to see their children and start asking mothers why he had to fight at all. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because this is reminiscent. Like, as I've learned more about their whole situation today, I'm laughing because it feels so similar to mine. Once a child gets a certain age, especially in the age of like cell phones and social media and stuff, y'all should be able to make your own arrangements to like meet up and hang out and talk. You know what I mean? Like, it's really not up to the woman. Once the child, I want to say, hits like 12, 13, it's not necessary for the mother to be involved. So to sit and try to blame it on the mother, like, oh yeah, you're keeping me from my child. How is it that you can, especially someone who has access to private jet? Hold on, y'all. Especially someone that has access to like private jets and just in all types of modes of transportation, money at your disposal, even if you're not balling like that. How are you complaining about not being able to see your child? Maybe it's that the kids don't want to see. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what I'm getting at. The kids might not want to see you. And then you have to ask yourself, why is that? But it's just always funny to me how when men with children, even grown children, will still come in and be talking to you about how the mother did this and the mother did this. It's like, sir, this child is 25. This person's 25 years old. That's over and done with. It's between y'all. It's y'all relationship now. But let's see here. So Uncle Rush had something to say. This is look at them. They were always so cute. They were always so pretty. Okay, so this is Kimora. She's about to go down. Let me mute myself.
We don't engage with him. We don't talk to him. We haven't spoken to him in many months, many months, probably going on years. But I noticed that he started to cryptically post children of divorced parents are oftentimes brainwashed. And I thought, wow, and people really, probably start to believe that in the world, social media, I don't know. People take sides. We all know that. People don't know what they see. You can show them something like this and they're like, I don't know if that was a hand. I don't know what that was. We're not sure, right? You don't know what you see or what you don't see. But I noticed that I got a lot of comments from that. Again, these are all comments and reports because he's blocked. And that's been that way for a while. Also funny to note that he has been blocked for quite a very long time, but yet continues to post messages like we're friends, we're comrades, we're there. He posts all old pictures of my kids. Basically, in my opinion, my humble opinion, he's mildly.
Sorry, y'all. My computer's moving slower now as I'm trying to do things, go back and forth between the things.
Where should we send your TechRite drone?
No.
This RC drone is a must-have tool.
Okay. So yeah, that's just a piece of it, but I want to find the whole thing. The thing I saw earlier was like 11, about 11 minutes. She said the Hills was still out. Yeah, it was like early 2000s. But it's interesting to me when she was saying like, oh yeah, he's posting stuff like we're still cool and everything. And that's what the baby was saying. Like, I keep calling these kids babies, but you got to remember, I'm a mother of a person around that age. So like everybody's a baby. When I'm out in the street, I'll call people that look significantly younger babies. Right. But
his life too much. And
hold on, Kimora, chill out. It is warm in here. She was saying that like he just seems to really want people to believe that everything is cool. And like I said, I give her props because she was really like, she put that out there for the longest time. She never acted like he was anything but a great co-parent and partner and everything like that. She never tried to stun on him, even when she got with Jaman Hansu, even when she got married to the other guy. Like, it was always this big, happy, blended family type of situation. So it's really frustrating and sad that she can't even like chill to know that he's been trying to do this to her. And it just goes to show that no matter what you do, no matter how you try to work with them and be good and reasonable and stuff, if they are insecure about what's going on with them, how they're behaving, or not even how they're behaving, how they're being perceived, they will act a whole monkey. And it doesn't even matter if they have a lot of money or not. Because like I said, I went through this a couple years ago. And mind you, at the time, my daughter was living with her father. But he still was tripping and acting really insecure and trying to, get her to join in these ideas about me being a deadbeat mom and this and that and the other. And I just remember being so confused because, one, we never really talked. Like, after he had moved away and got married and everything like that, I never really talked to him. We weren't beefing. You know what I mean? It just was so odd to me that he seemed so pressed to want to create this idea of me being a certain thing. And I'm just like, well, why won't you just build on your relationship instead of trying to like attack what our relationship is or was? Why don't you just focus on making sure that your relationship is solid? But the thing is, when it comes to that, because they want a certain type of relationship that child doesn't want, they want a certain level of control. They don't really want to exist with the child and let that child be autonomous and have agency within the relationship. I'm the father. I should be able to demand. I should be able to control. I should be able, and then when the child bucks against that, then all hell has to break loose. So it's just really, really sad. But I was able to find what I was looking for, at least one of the things, and then I'll find the other one later. So I'm going to go ahead and share that so you can see it pretty much in its entirety. Get this out of here.
Help adopt and raise that. So you guys know my kids. My kids have worked at the UN. My kids are ambassadors of the world. My kids speak multiple languages. Like I said, my youngest daughter is the youngest kid to graduate in recent history from an Ivy League school. You know, I'm a little upset, so I know I'm probably rambling and leaving out parts and jumping all over the place. I'm sorry. Y'all can hang up. I love you. I know everybody's going to be calling me later. But you all know for sure that my kids are not brainwashed. So I thought that was crazy that people actually started to believe that, because I could see the messages and the comments and, oh, sorry. And sometimes people just want to have something to say, and I understand that too. So today, the whole topic, and I thought about people, all my friends in the industry, and who I could call and what media people I could talk to about this, and who do I go to talk about this? And I thought about this all the time, but I never really have, you know, the right person, and it's never really come to me. So I just thought I'd turn on my thing here and say this. But for someone to imply that my kids are brainwashed because they honored the job or the duty that their mom fulfills on a daily basis, 365 days of the year, 24/7, is crazy. No one's brainwashed. You guys can go and see, you know, no one's delusional. Hold on one second. Wolfie? Yeah. I love you. What are you doing? Are you trying to play in here with mom? Okay, but can I just do this little quick interview and then you can come right back? Can I? Okay, only because I don't want just. Okay, I love you. Oh, okay, I love that. Come back, okay? So let me just read my comments. Look at my crazy big movie screen, you guys. That's actually a movie screen. It's huge. It's like the biggest one of the biggest ones I could find. And it has a direct throw projector. We're not going to get into all of our tech gadgets, but what was I saying? So you all know that my kids are not brainwashed. Those of you that know me here also know what kind of parent I am. I have been a parent pretty much all my life. I was a very young, probably too young bride. So I had these kids very early.
Sorry, I'm pausing that part right there because I was kind of taken aback by that when she broke down and cried and said she was a young bride. I've heard so much, you know, about how she was like 14 or whatever when they met and everything. She was modeling and he basically, you know, it would appear he groomed her. But I've always seen her be so happy to be around him. Even after they got divorced, it always seemed like she never felt any type of way about it. It always seemed like she was one of those cases where she seemed satisfied with how things had turned out. You know what I mean? Like there are a lot of people who will feel like, oh, their best years were taken from them and they didn't know what was going on or whatever. She never gave any kind of indication that she felt any kind of way about their relationship, how young she was, anything that had happened within it. It always seemed like for her, she was the exception to the rule. You know what I mean? That she had a good life and it just ended because they just grew apart and it was okay. It was amicable and there was no kind of trauma around it. So to see her break down like that or to hear her break down like that about it was shocking to me because it never occurred to me that it was anything but advantageous for her and that she felt any other way about it. But then juxtaposing that with what they're actually going through and revealing about what's going on, it's like, it makes sense that it probably wasn't as great as she, you know, if he's acting like this now that she's a full grown woman with so many other people around, other husbands and baby fathers and stuff that can support her in standing up for herself. And even the kids are older now to support her in standing up for herself and seeing stuff for what's going on. Imagine what was going on with her. Then she probably wasn't even able or, you know, aware enough to try to buck back at him because they're older now than she was when she met this man. They're way older than she was when she met this man. And that's crazy. So I just, wanted to point that out and highlight that. Alyssa says, at this point, I don't even log online on Father's Day. It's so much drama. Men think fertilizing an egg makes them a father, and that's so not true. I've said it before. I just recently, within the last year or so, started like talking with my father regularly. And I almost forgot yesterday. And I saw somebody online say something about it. And then I was like, oh yeah. And I say happy Father's Day to a couple other people I know, that were fathers or father adjacent. But generally, I ignore the day. I don't bother with it. I'm glad I didn't see a lot of discourse about, I'll see so many people talking about, oh, these women saying happy Father's Day. Mind you, I'll see so many posts like that, but I won't necessarily see women. Like sometimes you'll see a woman here or there say it, but not as much as I would see posts talking about women who do that. I remember like years ago, somebody said it to me one time and it caught me off guard because I was just like, oh, well, thank you. You know what I mean? But I don't even get hype about Mother's Day. So that's why for me, it's just like, man, whatever. I'm going to go back to the video now.
And you guys know how much my family means to me, and you know how much my kids mean to me. And you guys know, all of you that know me absolutely know what kind of mother I am and what kind of family dynamic I have over here. I think it's very important for you all to know if you look back in our history, I have always been the type of co-parent. We were actually very famous for our co-parenting abilities and, how we always put the good face forward and the good foot forward to the world. So you guys know that. If you pay attention to the time frame of things, you will see that some years ago, recently, this ex in question brought a lawsuit against me and my family, a completely frivolous lawsuit, where he accused me of all kinds of crazy stuff, like embezzling, laundering, defrauding, all these things. Again, everybody that knows me knows that nothing could be like further from the truth. Clearly, I'm sitting right here in my home, right? There's no, none of that. I didn't flee the country. I don't run. I don't have to hide from anybody. I didn't commit any atrocities that I need to answer for, here or in the next life, at the gates, wherever I'm going to get. I don't have to do that like some other people. So if you pay attention to, excuse me, I'm a little emotional, but I get like that. So do my kids. So sorry about that. But if you pay attention to when this lawsuit was launched, it's probably like a couple of years ago, you'll notice that that's when all of these attacks started coming from my ex. You'll notice that that's when a lot of a barrage of crap started coming over here to us. You'll notice that the kids stopped kind of, over the past years, they stopped kind of seeing their dad as much. And also, again, I have 5 kids, so I've always been like, an open book. All my other kids consider, let me turn to the light, consider Russell to be, considered him to be at one point in time like an uncle. We were all very close. And that goes for all my baby dads, by the way. There's evidence of that. You can see them, on various far and few between events, but you can see them sometimes like on the red carpet, and you'll see one person with all the kids, right? We get along like a family, like friends, like whatever. So you'll notice that all of this down talking and all of this stuff started to take a turn around these past couple of years, I think coinciding with that lawsuit. But I just want to come and say, and I never get into this. I usually let people go and rant and rave. It's funny though how this particular person in question, because I could go in on a few of them, one by one. But it's funny how this particular person, if you again go look back, you'll see on their page that they post all these pictures like we're together, like we're friends. They've even posted pictures and then said like, I just got off the phone with my kids. They sent me this great picture. None of that's true. I like receipts. So of course I have text messages. I have messages from all my kids. You know, you can go and see. I think the bottom line, like probably the breaking point for all of this was over the past many months when their dad just sort of cut them off. He was contributing a little bit of cash to their like monthly, you know, college spending, not much, a couple $100 probably, maybe $500. Maybe a little more. Again, all these things can be, you know, proven with receipts. I love receipts, so folks can always go and get receipts and show over the years. And so one day he just kind of cut the kids off. There was no more money coming in, no more like allowance, quote unquote allowance. I think he probably did that just to double up the expenses on me, which is no problem. I stepped up, I did it. But when he did this, it was around just before finals and graduation. It was some months ago, just before finals and graduation. And he did it without telling the kids or talking to the kids or anything. He did it, it's funny, after he did an interview with, I heard some clips from an interview with this young man. I don't know, but I see him a lot. I think his name is Academic or DJ Academic. Oh, happy Juneteenth, you guys. We're doing all this on Juneteenth. Come on, let it go. Let it out. So I saw in that clip, that was some months ago too. You can go and reference it and find it, where he told this guy, he was on and on about this guy. And I think it was about old school hip hop heads and how you should honor them, which I believe you should. But he was saying to the guy, like, I'm so rich. I got this and I got that. And I'm this and that. None of that could be further from the truth. You know, he has turned around. And then again, I have records and evidence of this where he's told the kids in writing, we have it, text messages, I'm broke, I this, I that, I can't, you know, go get it from your mom. Now, meanwhile, I have been financially carrying this person probably for the last at least 10 years, myself and my ex-husband. Again, this is all proven with receipts. So if whatever, somebody doesn't like what I'm saying, you know, we could talk about it. We can come, we can open up our receipts. I love it. I love receipts. But I've taken care of this person to the tune of many, many, many millions of dollars to help with their bills, their overhead, their companies that they run into the ground, their unsuccessful bids, all of their stuff. I don't necessarily speak for my kids, but I think I could take probably a good shot at it. They're sleeping right now because it's not even 8:30 in the morning. But my two oldest girls, they're young women. They're young women of the world. I think that was very tough for them, that their dad like kind of cut them off and cut off conversation and cut off helping them. And he's even said things to them like, why did you go to college? You shouldn't have gone to college. You wasted that money. You could have saved it, while I'm up here trying.
This is where I was like, whoa. So you telling me that this man with access, even though she's saying she had to take care of him, that's something else completely. But this man with all this access to all this money, all this capital, all these connections, whatever, he was telling his daughters that they wasted money by going to college. What else were they supposed to do? Were they supposed to find some other old ass man to get married to at 14? Like, what were they supposed to do? And then the crazy thing is, like, they're modeling now, and you'll see, like, I'll pull up, yeah, it is a nasty thing to say. I'll pull up Aoki's after this is done. But it's like, what were you expecting these girls to do with their lives? Like, what did you want from them? And I just feel like that was just something to say, just to say, you know what I mean? Like, some men, like, because they want control, they'll just say something against whatever it is you choose to do. Whatever you chose to do was the wrong thing because they didn't tell you to do it, or because it wasn't their idea, or what, you know, even if it's something that they kind of would have liked for you to do, or they might have got around to telling you to do, it's still wrong because it didn't come from them. They can't, your success in it or whatever can't be attributed to them. But to sit there and tell them girls like, oh, if you wasted money by going to school, what else were they going to do? What else were they supposed to do? And they didn't just go to any old type of school. They went to really good schools. So no matter what they choose to do, they literally can do anything because they are so connected, because they are so high profile, whatever. But I love a good credential. I love a good credential. These girls went to Harvard and NYU. So they can literally still do whatever it is you think they should have did before. They can do it now, and they don't have to worry about being, I mean, people will still call them nepotism babies, you know, whatever. But at least they put in some kind of work, is what I'm saying, of their own merit. Because regardless of who paid for whatever, they had to go to school. They had to do the work. They had to write the papers, you know, all of that. So it's just really bad and sad that he would say that to them.
Trying to hustle the kids over the finish line. You know, that was crazy. It's just been so many things that kind of negate what I'm trying to do over here at my house. Again, like I live in Beverly Hills, California. You know, I go between New York and LA. People know how to find me. They know how to see me. I see people walking up and down the street all day, every day. I'm just not going to tolerate this from someone who's not on the streets walking around every day. They are like, I don't know, apparently like hiding under a rock someplace far away in another country. You know, again, these girls are adults. They are young adults. I typically try to be very friendly and amicable with all my baby daddies, whatever. But I think it comes a time when you guys have to ask yourself, why are these women, young women, not supportive or not really trying to hear that? Or what have they gone through? What have they seen that they, you know, that has turned them off or that has put a bad taste in their mouth? You know, we've seen a lot lately over the years. And I have literally stood by these people and this man all my life. And I just get so emotional when someone tries to attack my parenting or my family or my kids that have tried so hard. You know, you can see all the press that we've done, all the interviews that we've done. I mean, it's a community thing. These kids graduating from high school, I'm in college, high school too. And all my friends, you know, I say the same thing. It's every person knows here that has had graduates. I graduated from college only just recently in the past like 5 years. It's tough. You know, they're teenagers developing into young adults now. They have lived their whole life in the public eye, which I guess is a good thing and a bad thing, because it's good because you know my kids, you know my family, you know, and so I hope that the public can kind of decipher some of these things and some of this, you know, bullshit. But it's also bad because you grow up and, again, your stuff is in the public eye. You don't get to handle things that privately and discreetly, like other people may have a chance that are not in the public eye. So I'm very touched and emotional. I become very emotional. People always say, Kimora, you're such a boss. You're such a leader, but you're so emotional. I am emotional. I will, you know, like snap in a heartbeat when it comes to my kids. I think everybody knows that. And so the fact that you would come at this point and try to attack my kids or my family is crazy. I'm very, very proud of my kids. I love them very much. And I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm tired of it. I literally woke up to this. I haven't had a chance to like get on the phone and call people and get the whole thing going and call publicists, call friends and do all that. I've gotten, you know, enough. I just came on here and did it like this. I'm sorry. I'm in my living room. Those are all my crazy clothes. I'm renovating my closet, and so my clothes are here behind me, and so it looks like I'm in a warehouse, but I'm really in my living room. So I think if you look at just some of the facts, this person was not present at graduation. Again, there was not one graduation. There were several graduation events, both for NYU and Harvard. You can look these things up. There's a schedule. They're, public events. Anybody can come or get tickets or show up or be there. They're usually in auditoriums. NYU was at Yankee Stadium. One of the graduations, the other ones were at smaller venues and locations. One of ours was at the Beacon Theater. They're all over. The same for Harvard and Boston. There's many different groups that graduate. So Yoki's like a classics major. It might be the classics group or the division of arts and science, or the law group, the this group, that group. Everybody has a graduation in addition to the school as a whole, right? So my point of saying all this is that hi, Renbex. Hi, you guys. The point of saying all this is that if you look, this person has not been to any events, did not come to graduation, no, he wasn't particularly wanted, but no one stopped you, hasn't sent a flower or a gift or a kind word, cut the kids off when they were traveling around. Like Yoki was on a trip to Greece with the classics department. She didn't know that her little debit card or whatever wasn't working. That was a whole mess. And it's a lot. Again, you parents will know when you have kids that are in the middle of finals and studies and stuff like that, and stuff comes up and their things aren't going through and they're, whatever. It's been a stressful past months getting through college, and it's been a stressful past just couple of years dealing with this just dealing with this craziness. Hold on, I'm just trying to see what you guys are saying and I can't. So I just want to say I usually stay here and I try to be very supportive of my family. I've tried to be very supportive all the time of even my baby daddies. I've sat quietly through things, and just because I'm a mom, I've tried to look the other way for things and turn the other cheek. And I don't know, I sometimes feel like some of those things come back to haunt you over time, and stuff like that. So, I'm not really sure, but I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. Again, like I'm sitting here with my kids in my house. Easy to find me, not running, not hiding, not, not doing any of that. And so to have these constant attacks is just kind of crazy.
Okay, so how do I get this off? Okay, yeah. So, yes, very, very sad. And there's so much about her demeanor and like what she's saying and the things that she's highlighting in terms of her experience and how it's impacting her and her intentions around the situation, like wanting everybody to get along, wanting to be able for everybody to feel comfortable and feel like family, even if relationships end and things like that. This woman has, I know she was with, she was married to Russell. She was with Jamon, the actor, model guy. And they had their son. She was married to this last guy. I feel like she was married to another guy before this last guy too. She says she has 5 children, so there's another child in there. So yeah, she's had like 3 husbands and a something. They had a ceremony, but they didn't have like an official marriage, her and Jamon. But they did have their son. And like she said, she's always had this outward appearance of everybody getting along and everybody being cool and all the kids are together and nobody seems, disgruntled or resentful or anything like that. Everybody loves Russell. Russell seemed to love all the kids. You know, it really doesn't make sense. So it's sad to me that despite all of her effort, because that's a lot, it takes a lot of effort to try to facilitate those types of things. And it can take a lot of emotional effort to facilitate that type of experience with everyone. If you have someone in the mix that, like I said earlier, doesn't want to be harmonious. You know what I mean? Someone that is disgruntled, someone that is always trying to create some kind of drama. And it just doesn't, this is what I said earlier. It doesn't make sense. It's not fair that despite women wanting to be, as inclusive as they can and as reasonable, to always get painted like, oh, well, you're keeping my child away from me, or you're poisoning them against. It's never their own behavior. There's never a scenario where they could say, I could see why my kid wouldn't want to open up to me. I could see why my kid, if they had the option to choose, wouldn't want to be around me. And I'm saying that as a parent who has had to have that come to Jesus moment, those come to Jesus moments with myself. You know what I mean? Even when I'm being disciplining, even when I am, I know when my child may not like what it is I'm doing or saying. And I make, I make my peace with that to a certain degree. You know what I mean? But I also try to make sure that I'm doing the things I feel are necessary that they may not like, in a way that they can understand why I'm doing. But it sounds like he just wants to have control to the point where even if what's going on is something that is good and positive and fruitful and beneficial, like going to NYU and Harvard, that he just wants to have something negative to say. So if you just want to be a naysayer, if you just want to be a thorn in people's side, why wouldn't they be averse to dealing with you? That's just, you know what I mean? I'm looking for Ackkin Lee. Her little thing she was doing, because she was really the one that I felt so sad to see how she was feeling, because she's a kid, she's a grown woman, but she's a kid. She's more of a kid than we are, than her parents are. And to be in that situation, the same as her mother, she was saying, like, I would like for things to be better. It's not that I don't want to talk to my father, because I just don't want to talk to my father. I don't want to talk to him if he's going to treat me like this. I don't want to talk to him if he's going to act this way towards me and make it hard for me. And that's absolutely reasonable. Like, there's no reason for her to want to be around this person. Sorry, I'm still looking for what she had to say. Now, I don't want to put it on, how people, I don't want to put it on with somebody that's doing what I'm doing, making commentary. I just want the, I just want the daggone, thing. I saw it earlier, but I can't log into my other account from here, which was what I was trying to do earlier and having so much trouble, because that was the one where I was actually watching it. Let me see if this one will let us see it. Hold on, y'all. I think this will be it. All right, yeah. I'm going to share it.
Enough, and anyone who knows me, there are people in my DM saying I'm ungrateful, whatever. Anyone who knows me knows I have been a good
good daughter. I have been here for my dad. I was like 15, not knowing what sexual assault was, and I'm still defending my dad. Like, my dad's a good person. I've been a good daughter my whole life. And so you're not going to say that I'm ungrateful or awful. This man is awful to me. He's done awful things to me. And I'm so tired of it. And everyone just says, everyone loves your dad. Everyone you work with loves your dad. No one's gonna back you up. No one's gonna have you model for them because they all love your dad. And he's a terrible person. So if I never get any jobs ever again, then like, fine, I will go be a lawyer in the entertainment industry because I shouldn't have to lie or be bullied by a child. I have made so much effort with my dad. I will release my entire WhatsApp log. I'm proud of how I've behaved. I have said, I love you, happy Father's Day, whatever. I know things are tough right now, but I will release the whole thing. I'm proud of how I behaved. I've asked for space or for boundaries. I've said, please don't post pictures of mom when you guys are disagreeing. It's like taunting her. Please don't post random baby pictures of all of us together when you guys are in legal issues. And this all started because he's got folks talking about my sister. And you guys know me. You don't talk about my sister. That's when I ended. I only follow him because I was in the media and I had no choice because it was like, why is it? I've been trying not to have drama. So I follow him and I try to be peaceful. And I say, I love you and happy Father's Day when I can. But I mean, this man has left me stranded in a foreign country. As a minor, he cut off my debit card and didn't tell me. I'm in Greece, doing a school trip. I realized all of a sudden I had no money. I go to my teacher. I'm like, my debit card doesn't work suddenly. I don't know what's going on. My mom sent me some money and whatever, but he does really vindictive stuff like that. He'll cut you off out of nowhere. He'll cut off your healthcare. He'll cut off your phone bill out of nowhere. You'll be a minor just because you disagree. Or you say, don't call my mom all these names. And I don't like to have drama. I want to be a peaceful person. There's so much that I want to do in the world on my own, as my own self, but I cannot just let you taunt me about my mother. And if he says one thing and disagrees with me, I will post it all because he does it. I have videos of him saying awful things that no one should have to hear about anyone they know, much less their mother. He has called me names. He has called us all how terrible things, all because I wouldn't take his side in a lawsuit. My mom didn't ask me to take her side. She said, you go to school and you do your thing, and mom using some things, but it's I have a phone. No one stops me from talking to him. I'm 20. I just don't always feel like talking to him. And over, he posts stuff and does stuff. And we all say, please stop. I don't want drama. I love my family. I'm sure we'll all work it out. It's going to be okay. And I don't post anything because I want to have a peaceful family. But this is abusive at this point. And I really feel like my career is over. And it's fine. It's just... and he threatened me with that too. So... maybe my career is over. You know what? I used to work at a refugee camp. I'll do that again. I'll be a doctor. I don't give a fuck. And I can never get a job in entertainment again. But you cannot just abuse your kids behind closed doors and not take accountability. Maybe I'll regret this when I'm older and I wanted to be a model and now I can't be. I don't know. But you don't get to do this. You don't get to do this. I'm sorry. And something tells me deep down that I'm not gonna regret this. You don't do that. It's wrong. And literally, I have not been able to say anything because I've just moved out recently. And a lot of people, when I'm working and modeling, I'm so grateful. They'll say to me, oh, I met your dad 10 years ago. He's so wonderful. And I'm working, so I'm just like, yeah, I mean, there's great parts to him, and we used to be very close because that's how I make money to move out. He won't give me any money, which is
fine. You don't have to give me money. I'm 20. I'm over 18. I don't know. But then I can't also speak out against him without him messing up my job. No, but I know it's going to start more drama, but it's been years. All that money, they're crying about nothing. Russell Simmons doesn't give me any money. I'm staying with my friend in New York. Russell Simmons doesn't give me $1. He doesn't give me a fucking smoothie. And you're saying this starts more drama, but it's been years. I've been in the drama for years, since I was like 15. So yeah, maybe it's...
So this makes me think about, there was some, I don't even remember what it was about, but some years ago while they were in school, something had happened and people were saying something. I think people were talking about Ming, and Ming is the older one. Ming was born before Yuki. And they were saying something about Ming. I think it was when Ming had first started modeling. So I don't remember exactly what was going on. But Aoki came out and she was like, look, you're not going to talk about my sister and blah, 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 blah. And she was saying something. It might have been like a nepotism baby conversation or whatever. And I remember everybody was basically saying like the same thing. Like, oh, you have no room to talk. You know, look at who your father is. Look at who your mother is. You know, you're really privileged type of thing. And this just makes me think about back then, knowing that they were going through this, you know, even then. And she never said anything negative about her father. She just was like, oh, you know, we're still working hard. And yeah, we have a lot of privileges. We know we have a lot of privileges, but still, you know, whatever her viewpoint was. But she never said anything that she never gave any kind of indication there was anything wrong between them and their father. And I just wanted to highlight that.
It feels like more drama now, but I've tried, and I just don't think it's fair that I have to be quiet and I can't sit in. It's ruining my job, and I don't get to have a career because it's not fair. All he does is post crazy, out of control stuff, and we all just say like, God, like if I respond, it's gonna be worse. If I respond, it's gonna be worse. I just like had it tough. And I used to be so close to my dad. You can see that in any picture ever. I was the closest with my dad. I have not done anything to him. Anything he says that we've done is like, they didn't call me when I said call. They didn't post a picture of me on Instagram for my birthday. Like, we have done nothing but go to school and stay out of grown folks' business and let them do their legal stuff. And mom has encouraged that. She's been like, yeah, I mean, y'all are in college, like be in college. Don't worry about this over here. And it's my dad who, if you unblock him for 2 seconds, he starts telling you what a cunt your mother is. And now she's going to jail and she's an illegal person and she's the worst and he can't wait to watch her go to jail and die. And like, anytime you unblock him for 2 seconds, at one point he lied that he had COVID. And so we called him like, all right, you know, this is serious. Are you okay? And he's like, no, I just faked that to tell you your mother's a piece of shit. And we're like, all right, good morning. You're 70, like, grow up. And I never wanted to do this because I'm like working so hard just to try and have like my own life and do what I enjoy doing. I just graduated college. I just got to New York. I might not even have a job now. I don't fucking know. Never baby downfalls, you know, I guess if the name helped you get the job, might help you lose the job. I don't fucking know. But I just like I did everything with so much patience and it's like, but you're not going to text me over and over, calling my mom this and that and telling my sister this and that and sending people to threaten my sister. He sent someone to threaten my sister at her house. You know my sister's a nice person. She's a quiet. He sent someone in the middle of the night to like take her some papers to like sign away her inheritance or whatever. And then she was like, should I be signing this? And I was like, what? He like sends people to threaten her. And you know Ming is a calm person. No, please stop with the bullshit about I hope you find peace and privacy and this is venting. I have been dealing with this my whole life. This is not new. It's not new drama. I already live in the drama, so now I'm just sharing. This is not there's no therapy you can go to with someone who weaponizes the fact that you don't want to go public, right? Because when he posts something and then I don't respond, because I'm like, I don't want to have drama. And so he's been weaponizing that we don't want to have drama. I'm not I care about my family. I don't like to have this out there. But he uses that against you. Well, what are you going to do about it? You're not going to say something. So now I'm saying something. And if you're going to say what,
I want to put that out too, because I've been through that. When you're like, you don't want drama, you don't want, like, you're not concerned about making them look bad. You really genuinely just want everybody to get along. You want I keep saying the word harmonious, because that's all that you want. You want a harmonious situation where everybody's needs are getting met, as best they can, reasonably, considering the circumstances. And everybody's happy, everybody loves everybody, whatever. And this person is just determined to make you uncomfortable, to push you, to have you, see these, they sit there crying and stuff and everything. And you're in this space where you are kind of scared to move and paralyzed, because you don't want to make it worse. You don't want to make it worse. You don't want to be misconstrued as being antagonistic to them. Like I said, because you're not concerned about other people looking at them a certain way, you don't necessarily jump to the idea of, I want to tell a bunch of people, because really, what is that even going to do? Who is that going to serve for real? Is it really? It's not. Ultimately, probably won't change the situation. It may make it worse, but all you want is for y'all to be able to get along. And this person knows that because you're overcompensating to try to keep, some kind of stability within the situation, or keep it from boiling over, that they just do the craziest stuff, like over and over and over again, because they know that you're going to be the one exercising restraint. And ultimately, you're going to be the one driving yourself crazy, because you're so worried about respecting someone who's not worried about respecting you.
One more thing about, like, you should be in private in therapy. Get off, please, because I'm telling you, he uses that against me, and I'm not going to have it. And my sister and my mother, and I'm not going to have it. And he's going to spin the whole narrative about, your mom turned you against me. I am very independent-minded. You can ask my mom. She has an issue with me every day since I was 4. I want to cut my hair. I want to move out. I want to do this. And she's like, we negotiate all the time. I'm not the type to, like, whatever you say, mommy. I'm, like, kind of an independent individual in that way. She would know. She raised me with a lot of work. So he's going to say, she's not with me. I'm in New York. Like I said, staying with a friend, because he will not even give me $100 for rent, which is fine. I'm saving. But, like, all that money, you're crying. He doesn't give me $1. Not that you need it. People work. People are 18, 20. They don't have parental support. My mom supports me. Yeah. But that's all I really have to say, I guess. I think I covered all the points. It's been many years, so don't tell me this is just drama that just started. I've been living in it. It's been terribly directed at the children. It's not like I could just stay out of it. We tried. I would be in school, living, happy Father's Day, happy Mother's Day, and my mom, if I asked a question, she'd be like, this is not your concern. But anytime I allowed him into my life, even to have lunch, he would start yelling about tell your mom to do that. And I was like, I can't, what? Cursing, saying terrible words. If you don't agree with him immediately, it's immediately cursed out, foul things. Like, if you don't immediately say, oh my God, I hate my mother too, like, you're in trouble. So don't tell me this just started. I don't really care if I seem crazy because I know that I'm not. And like I said, I will release every email. I'll release my entire WhatsApp log because I have behaved as well as I could have at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have behaved as well as I could. Please give me some space. I don't want to talk about that. Well, I don't want to hear you say that about my mom. Could you please stop? Please don't call my friends. Please don't call my boyfriend. Please don't call my friends at school. Please don't DM my friends at school on Instagram to harass me. Please don't threaten my job. Please don't send people to threaten my sister. I've done the best I possibly could. And I mean that. On my own. Like, it's not, because he and my mom have had disagreements. I'm not involved in them. But he forces me to be involved. Even now, he'll say, I didn't want drama. I have texts of him saying, go on live. No one will fucking believe you. Do it. Go ahead. Nobody cares. Fine, let's go then. Go on live. See if anyone fucking believes you. I'm Russell Simmons. See who believes you. So, you know. Did I miss anything? Not those are the main points. Rich people are crazy, bro. Thank you for your thoughts. That's so helpful. It's so helpful. So yeah, you know, speaking to y'all now, but a lot of people who claim to be feminists or progressive, when it comes to one of their friends, their homies, whatever, blind eye. So yeah, y'all might not really see me much more. Like, I might not continue working in fashion or in entertainment. I might just, I don't know, I have other skills. I might just do like law, which I care about, and criminal justice. Like, I'll do something else. But I'm saying that now. A lot of people who will say, oh, I would back up someone if they said, look what I have evidence, look what's being done to me. And it's gonna be, oh, well, I knew your father in the 90s, I can't hire you. So you don't have to hire me. But I said the truth. And I'm sure that'll, you know, come full circle. I'm thinking about, honestly, some people that I care about so much who don't know that me and my dad have issues, and I'm worried that they're gonna abandon me, not talk to me, turn away from me, and as sad as that is, I'm sure if they do that, I'm better off without them, but so yeah. If people abandon me because my dad is awful and you thought he was great, and the one time y'all met in 2012, he was so spiritual, and you don't believe me even though I have the evidence, that's fine. But like, I think the world really sucks if that's what happens, because it's not fair. It's been years. So yeah. And I love my dad. I've always loved my dad. You can look at any picture of me as a child, of my family. I'm always with my dad, hugging his legs, something. I think I have like 45 Daddy's Girl t-shirts when I was like 4. I love my dad. And if he tries to say, oh, they've been awful to me because we didn't post a picture of you on Instagram, so you could performatively make people think that we're not upset. So yeah, maybe I blew up my life, but it's okay. Oh, recover for sure.
So yeah, that was that. I mean, it's so sad to see her breaking down like that. And like I said, the sincerity of just like, I just want to love him. I just want to love him. I just want him to love me. I want him, you know, she didn't even say like, oh, I want him to be proud of me. I think that's implied. But, you know, I just want us to be able to get along. I just want to be able to talk to him like normal father and daughter, and not have it always be about this thing that he is making it about. And it's heart-wrenching. It's really so sad. And like I said, I know that frustration of just being like, look, if it could all be so simple, you know, like it could all just be, I don't know what you, and that's the thing about stuff like that too. Like, I would say it could be that he wanted her back, you know, maybe he never wanted to get divorced or whatever like that, but it's been so long, you know what I mean? It's been so long, you know, he could have been married. I feel like he could have been married again. I mean, and I know people say, oh, he was doing all that stuff. Yeah, but you know, they'll have girls they do that stuff with, and then they'll have girls like, but you know what? No, because like I said, when Kimora broke down, I was surprised. So who knows? He might have been doing that stuff to her. You never freaking know. It's so freaking crazy. But anyway, I have pinned the link if anybody wants to come up and say anything about any of the stuff we talked about today. Danileigh, Summer Walker, who else was on my paper? Danileigh, Summer Walker, Jessica White, Moriah Mills, and then finally Kimora and Aoki. Oh, and also I forgot to talk about when it came to Summer Walker. She also had inboxed someone. I found out today it was Lotto, Big Lotto's sister. I thought it was some random girl, but it was Big Lotto's sister. She inboxed them about what's his name from BMF, Meech or whatever, because her and him are going out. He's like 23, but she's like 28 or something, so it's not that bad. But apparently she saw the girl with his chain on, and so she inboxed the girl about it, and the girl, you know, screenshotted the inbox and everything. But that just goes, furthermore, it just don't seem like she might have been learned some things, but I don't think she's learned the lessons she needs to learn to graduate from those particular lessons. So hopefully he is cognizant enough to make sure she don't get pregnant, because I don't think she's on that tip yet either. But yeah. So if nobody wants to come up, I don't see anybody coming up, and that's fine, because I actually need to do a few things. I would stay on, you know, if anybody wants to stay, but it doesn't bother me that we can end it. I want to thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me. It's been a while, and I have missed it, and I was so happy to see everybody. Invincible, Summer, Mara, hey there. Who else was here? Tori came through. True Mystique. Who else? I'm scrolling up. Oh, thank you, Themis. Alyssa. Jazzy. MJ. Thank you all for coming and kicking it with me. So yes, this was Baby Mama News. This is something, I don't know how often I'm going to do Baby Mama News, but it is going to be like one of my segments here where like I'll just talk about whatever type of mess the baby mamas are getting into. And yeah, and I don't know exactly when I'll start doing Woman Chat Wednesday again, but you know that I love you, know that I'm here, I'm around. Please like, share, and subscribe. And oh, you can email me at Kiana. I'm going to put it in the thing. Don't laugh at my typing. Is that everything? Yes. So you can email me at Kiana at levelupsinglemom.com. I'm going to put that on the thing. If you have like show ideas, if anything in particular you'd like me to talk about, if you have bought the book, please, I would love to hear, you know, your thoughts about the book. Because I'm always curious of like how it's affecting people, how people are receiving it, everything like that. Bye, Panda. But yeah, you can, that's my email. So if you want to just talk to me, have any kind of contact with me, you can do it that way. But other than that, I want to thank you guys for sticking with me. I had a pretty good turnout throughout the whole thing. Chica, thank you for coming. Panda. And I will see you guys. Oh, I want to play the outro again. Just because I worked on it, it's so funny. But I think I'm gonna use this. Like this is gonna be my thing. That's why I made it too. From here on out. So you guys have a great night, and I will see you in the Discords and around. I'll see y'all around. All right.